Forgive me while I adjust things. All right. Okay. I sent out a notification earlier this morning that I would be up, or online for this. So if anybody y'all got the message, well, hopefully y'all got the message to attend. I haven't done this one in about a month, but I kind of wanted to check in with everybody, see how everybody was doing. Hope everybody is enjoying the weekend. I know that I am. Weekend is meant for relaxation, fun, and leisure, unless you work on the weekend and then you get your days off on different parts of the week. But the way that my work schedule falls, I usually get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So it works out really good for me. All right, just going to wait a minute or two to see if anybody comes on. Then we kind of go into kind of what I wanted to talk about. But usually if, for those who have never attended one of these, I typically will just kind of chat for a little bit, then kind of talk about video or videos that I've posted since the last time that we met for these live sessions, and I kind of go over it, just kind of make sure everybody understood, learned something. If anybody had questions, then that would be the opportunity to ask those questions. And then we just kind of just talk about various things. Thanks. My double chin. Eddie Munson from Stranger Things. I actually know who Eddie Munson is. I think that I read somewhere that they're trying to bring that actor back who played Eddie Munson for the next Stranger Things season. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, so we have some people here. So why don't we get started? So I wanted to kind of let you all know, in case you weren't aware, that down where I am in the Deep South, this is Mardi Gras season. So right now, as we speak, there are parades all over around Louisiana. There are parades, when Mardi Gras season happens. It actually happens, I want to say it starts in January, carnival season, and then it culminates on Mardi Gras, otherwise known as Fat Tuesday. And on Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, then the next day is Ash Wednesday, and that's the beginning of Lent. So Mardi Gras plays this odd little relationship with Catholicism and kind of a loose relationship with like paganism, because it's funny that this is a religious there's a connection between the religion in this, and all of a sudden there are floats named Orpheus, Bacchus, Pegasus, all sorts of different floats that are named about Greek, the crew of muses, for example. And when I say crew, it'll spell with a K. Because down south there will be, if you say like, the C's sometimes turn to K's, and if let's say you were to say bow, the ending might be BAUX. Now everybody knows that, that's a little bit of a departure from standard English, but if there's also that little bit of a cultural type of thing where we do that. Uh, so back to Mardi Gras. So all over Louisiana, there are parades, but the epicenter is New Orleans. So the difference between, I guess, New Orleans parades and the parades that are around is that New Orleans, there's like a suspension of normal everyday reality because, and even though it even affects law enforcement because there are certain things that the police look the other way up about, and a lot of that will be something like public nudity on occasion, uh, public intoxication. So as long as you're not misbehaving significantly more than the people around you, they'll kind of look the other way. But most of the time at the parades, there is a lot of drinking, a lot of fun, talking, people getting together, and the floats go by. They're throwing beads, trinkets, cups, all those sorts of things, and everybody sort of enjoys it. So it is such a big thing that it's actually a state holiday for us. So I'm not working Tuesday. You know, the state shuts down because it's its own thing, and I'm not sure if any other state in the United States does that, but I'm pretty sure that we're alone in that. So there's a lot of it has the history of kind of the bacchanalia, the revelry, the debauchery, all of that. I read one time that it has something to do when we're talking about the Catholicism, where I believe I'm not Catholic, that with Lent and the beginning of that, there is like a little bit of a sacrifice. So, I mean, self-sacrifice. You know, people give up certain things for Lent, maybe bad habits or smoking or whatever, and that leading up to this point, this is where it's almost like people get some of this stuff out of their system to prepare for it. So, anyway, I know I rambled on, but it's kind of the religious, cultural aspect of Mardi Gras that a lot of people don't really know about. So let's talk real quick about a previous video, because I think I had one video in between now and the last. Yeah, it's interesting. If you are somebody who has social anxiety, or maybe somebody who doesn't even is kind of an introvert, it might not be your thing. uh, but you know, we're kind of raised to kind of be for that to be kind of just part of our life once a year. So we kind of a lot of times endure it. I myself have been through the paces. Yeah, I've been to it so many times that as kind of like getting older as an adult, I just have said, okay, so that's other people's thing, because I've been to the New Orleans aspect of Mardi Gras a lot, and I've even ridden in the parades in New Orleans and Mardi Gras. So I've kind of talking about get it out of your system. I've really gotten it out of my system. All right, so let me talk to you about the Magical Cash Book, because that was the last video that we talked about. Magical Cash Book, and the subtitle was, let me see if I wrote it down, Attracting Money Fast, with Wealth Secrets, with Ancient Secrets, using Ancient Secrets and Modern Wealth Magic. So if you have never seen it, let's see if I can show you. This is a book that I've had for quite a while. And I actually like this because I'm a reader and I've read a lot of books, and there is a mood that I am in sometimes that where I want to read like in detail, deeply into a book, and maybe even a thick book. But there are times when maybe for magic, I just want to know the nuts and bolts and how to do it, and it doesn't require all of that. So that is the case for this particular book, because it is, let me check. Okay, so sometimes with these Gallery of Magic books are not numbered, But if I remember correctly from looking into this book more deeply than just having it, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of like, 68 pages or something like that. So it's not very thick and it's very easily digestible. So what is in the book? For those of y'all who missed the video. So what's in the book is that this book is about a particular spirit, a genius spirit. The genius spirit is a classification, doesn't mean genius as in Albert Einstein genius or an extremely smart genius. It's just the name of a particular classification of spirit. These genius spirits, especially this one in particular, were made popular by the book, and I want to say it was in the late 60s or early 70s, called The New Avatar Power by uh, what's his name? Jeffrey Gray Cobb, and this particular spirit, Nitika, is was mentioned in another one called the Noctamaran. I'm saying that correctly, which I believe preceded Jeffrey Gray Cobb's book. And then over time, he was mentioned once or twice. And then the Gallery of Magic brought this particular spirit back into the public's attention. Yes, that's right. You got it. All right. So what does this book, what does it entail? So it entails the actual creation of a book of financial manifestation through the spirit Nitika. So it gives you instructions on how to create a particular book, how to do it, what colors to paint it, the symbology of everything, including the sigil for Nitika. And I believe on the back there is a moon spirit that is connected. So I'll show you the book that I created to all the specifications. So what happens in the book, what they're teaching you in the book, is how to do that. And after you create the book physically, according to the specifications, there is a charging of the book. And there is the first page, there is a summoning. And then you start to put, on another page, the amount you're trying to manifest. And then you circle it. So all of this is carefully sort of designed in order to attract more money in your life through this magical cash book that you created. Now, this isn't anything new. I believe that S. Connolly created a book of manifestation, not necessarily for money. The book of Agaris, or Agaris, however you say the word. Never actually heard it with my ear. So if you were interested in that type of thing, she in her book again tells you the reader exactly how to create this type of book. So the book becomes an instrument of magic. I took a course on Saint Cyprian, and it was a similar thing, where when it was all said and done, the book became kind of like almost like a wand, because it was charged. It had all the sigils. It had all of the angels and other spirits and everything in it. So that is the summary of the Magical Cash Book. Now, as far as Nitika is concerned, it's just like any other type of spirit that people work with. There are people who sing his praises. There are other people who don't have a lot of luck with it. So it's more like any type of magic. You just have to try to connect with the spirit, follow the process, and see what happens. It's very much trial and error. And there are a lot of different reasons for that. I suspect that, you know, maybe the particular spirit doesn't want to connect with that person for whatever reason. Maybe the maybe there isn't just the right vibe. Any questions about that? Yeah, S. Connolly. She's written tons of books. She is, if you were to look at her books, she's a little bit more on the darker side of things. But and her books are kind of like the Cash book in the sense that they're very short. They're almost some of them are almost like chapbooks. They're kind of okay. Here are just the minimum of what you need to know, and here are the instructions. Go and give it a shot, type of thing. Now I think I have one or two from her that are pretty thick. And I want to say that she did a series of books because I was interested in just kind of like when one time I heard the word demonolatry, I wanted to find out what exactly that would entail. So she wrote a kind of a thick book about that. So that would be the exception. But I have a few of her books, and the ones that I have are kind of slender. And the part of that too is a lot of the authors nowadays are recognizing not only kind of what I mentioned, but people, especially people who I don't know how to say this, who are maybe a little bit younger. There's so many there's so much competition for your attention that it's harder for one to kind of read, long form books, you know, and we live in an age where we don't have that much time anymore. So, all right. So I wanted to mention a couple things that y'all might be interested in. One, and I usually mention this in the beginning, but I have an Etsy store and I offer attunements, s- connections with spirit. And if you want to participate in that, you can use it to upgrade your magic, elevate your life, achieve your goals. I've mentioned that on my channel plenty of times. I just released one on an attunement to what a specific tarot card represents. For example, I just released the Magician, the second um, card of the Major Arcana. So if you want to integrate those energies of the Magician, which let's say that you are working on self-improvement, self-mastery, I want to have my insides together in order to better conduct my magic as far as the psychology and stuff, that would be an attunement to that. Because what you do is you look at the card itself and the symbols in it and saying, okay, so that's what the energy represents. Uh, so that is what I'm kind of allowing people to kind of have. That's what I'm offering. So I'll put a link in the description for that, and I have other attunements. Second thing is that I don't mention this much anymore, but I have a Patreon page. It is something that I have not really been keeping up with much lately, just because there have been so many. Uh, there's been just so much things that are draining my time and responsibilities and things. So I am going to shut it down in about 2 months, just because I don't like having open-ended things just out there and me not taking care of it. It's almost like you have a house and you're not cleaning your house, right? Eventually things, you just become uncomfortable. So I'm uncomfortable having it at this point. The Patreon has, at one point, it had services that I was giving, for example, coaching with magic, things like that. But what I read originally, that was supposed to be kind of like extra. The Patreon really was meant to be is to for me to post videos that are different than the ones on YouTube, meaning extra videos that I don't post there, maybe like the second parts of videos that the audience felt like were good and wanted to see more. So, if you all want to get into the Patreon temporarily, because I'm going to have it probably for another 2 months, just to kind of see everything, look through everything. You'll have to subscribe, but you can just cancel it after you're done looking at everything. If y'all want to do that, I'll keep it open. I'm gonna like keep it open for another 2 months if people want to do that, and then I'm going to just shut it down. Uh, so I'm also going to be moving into a different direction, and it's not in it. In addition to this, it's not excluding this, but I'm going to start a new channel on YouTube, which is going to have more to do with the mind, the unconscious, could be philosophy of mind, hypnosis, all those sorts of things. And I want to kind of talk about, maybe even go deeper into things and topics that I don't see much in YouTube or other venues for videos. So that's something that I'm kind of excited about. And when I have that up and running, I will let everybody know. I am still going to post on this for a while, and we're going to see how it goes because I do like this channel and I have a really good audience like you folks right here. So, does anybody have any comments or questions? I'm glad that you all came. All right, folks. Well, if you give me half an hour, I need to put some things. I got to let this video digest onto YouTube, and I'm going to put all those links in case you were interested. And just so please be patient. Just kind of circle back a little bit later, and I'll have them for you. All right. Well, I will talk to you all later, and bye-bye.